My name is Lamia. I never thought my life would turn into a story worth telling. I was a woman who believed in love until love itself betrayed me. I met Jamel when I was 24. He was 29, charming, gentle, and full of dreams. He told me I was his everything, and I believed him without hesitation. We married 2 years later. A beautiful, simple wedding full of laughter, full of promises. Promises that I thought would last forever. But sometimes life writes a different story for us when we never saw coming. Chapter 1: The First Signs. The first few years of marriage were good. Not perfect, but good. We built a small life together, a cozy apartment with walls that held our dreams. But after the fifth year, things started to change. It wasn't obvious at first. It was in the small things. The way Jamel would look at his phone and smile secretly. The way he became distant during dinners. The way he would forget small promises he once kept without thinking. At first, I blamed stress. Work was tough. Life was tough. I made excuses for him, because that's what love does, it forgives too easily. Chapter 2: The Woman. Her name was Sarah. At first, she was just a name in a casual conversation. A new colleague at his work. Nothing serious, or so I thought. But then I noticed he spoke of her often. Her ideas, her jokes, her innocent friendship. I wanted to trust him. I needed to trust him, but trust is like glass once cracked. You start noticing every fracture. Chapter 3: The Evidence. One evening, Jamel came home late again. He smelled different. Not of alcohol, not of cigarettes, but of her perfume. I knew it. I knew it deep inside. I started checking his phone when he slept. Something I never thought I'd do. And there it was, messages. Hundreds of them, flirty, personal, emotional. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. You understand me like no one else does. I wish tonight never ended. My hands shook, my heart shattered. And still, a part of me whispered, maybe there's an explanation. Chapter 4: Confrontation. The next morning, I confronted him. I sat across from him at the breakfast table, my hands trembling. Jamel, are you in love with someone else? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He didn't lie. He didn't deny it. He just lowered his head. And in that moment, I knew everything without hearing a single word. Yes, he said finally. I'm sorry, Lamia. I didn't mean for this to happen. Didn't mean? What about the promises? What about me? But he had no answers. Chapter 5: The Broken Days. The days that followed were a blur. I cried until there were no tears left. I stopped eating, stopped laughing. The woman I was disappeared. Family and friends tried to comfort me, but it felt like standing in a burning house, while people outside told me it would be okay. And worst of all, a part of me still loved him. How cruel is love, that even after betrayal, it refuses to die easily. Chapter 6: The Choice. One night, after days of silence, Jamel sat down beside me. He said he was sorry, that it was a mistake, that he still loved me. He asked for forgiveness, and I faced the hardest question of my life. Could I forgive him? Could I ever trust him again? Could love survive betrayal? I told him I needed time, not for him, but for myself. Chapter 7: Healing Alone. I packed a suitcase and moved in with my sister for a while. I needed space to breathe, to remember who I was before Jamel, to decide if I could ever be whole again. It wasn't easy. Healing never is. But day by day, I reclaimed small pieces of myself. I started painting again. I went for long walks. I reconnected with old friends. I remembered how to laugh. At the forced laughter I had worn like armor. but real, bubbling, unexpected laughter. Chapter 8, The Final Decision. 3 months later, Chimel and I met at a small cafe. He looked different, older, sadder. He asked if I would come back home. He promised things would change. But in that moment, I realized something. I had already changed, and no promise could undo the cracks he had made in my soul. I told him I forgave him, but forgiveness doesn't always mean going back. I chose myself. I walked away from that cafe stronger than I had ever been. Conclusion: today, I live a new life. Not perfect, not fairy tale perfect, but mine. I found strength I never knew I had. And as for Chimel, I wish him well. But I have learned that loving yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. This was my story, a story of love, betrayal, and rebirth. My name is Lamia, and this is not the end. It is the beautiful beginning of a new chapter.